Hello guys, Captain Georgia here, and this is Captain Georgia's Armory, and we're looking at a very familiar tank right now. This is the IS-3. I've talked quite a bit about IS-3s before, because I love the IS-3. It is a really, really good tank. We're going to look at a really, really fun match that I had in the IS-3 just a couple days ago. I'm going to spoil it. This is the game where I got Mastery Badge Ace Tanker in this tank. Yes, it took me 219 games to get Ace Tanker in the IS-3. And that is for two reasons. First of all, the IS-3 is a really good tank, so people who are really good at World of Tanks can get crazy high experience in IS-3s, which makes getting a Mastery Badge in it pretty hard. Reason number two, I had played past this tank in the tech tree before Mastery Badges came out. So you can't get a Mastery Badge in something if Mastery Badges did not exist. So yeah, before I rebought, I had to rebuy this tank, and that was not a problem because I love this tank. But yeah, I rebought the IS-3 just to play for fun, and since doing that, I've probably only played maybe 15, 20 battles in it, and I pulled down the Ace Tanker, so I was pretty excited about that. Now, the reason why I love the IS-3 so much, and this is a complete nerd analogy right here, is that the IS-3 is the X-Wing of World of Tanks. And for anybody who loves Star Wars, you're probably going to immediately know what I'm talking about. And I think it's a pretty good analogy. I used to play the game Rogue Squadron all the time, and I used to have all the little briefing room things memorized, just because I'm good at memorization. That's a huge part of why. But the other reason was I played that game obsessively as a little kid for like 7 years. So I'd played it so much that it had turned into a rail shooter for me. I flew a route and just killed everything. Literally everything. I killed everything in every match flying on a route. It was a rail shooter for me. I played it so much. So anyway, in the hangar, when they're talking about the X-Wing, General Riken's giving his little narration, and he says that the X-Wing has an almost perfect balance of speed, maneuverability, and defensive shields. Now, the IS-3 is pretty much like that, except it doesn't have defensive shields because this is not Star Wars. The IS-3 has almost a perfect balance of speed, maneuverability, defensive armor, and most importantly, firepower. This tank, 120 or 110 millimeters at the front, but it's in the pike nose configuration, which plus it's really pretty well sloped. So that's only 110 millimeters thick, but it's pretty difficult to penetrate. The turret, 220 all the way around, virtually impregnable. If you're firing down at it, this is a weak spot, and from the front, if you can hit it, this is a weak spot, which you can do it, but it's really small. Side armor on this thing, only 90 millimeters thick, but it's spaced, and the spaced armor is thick. Like, that's a big gap. So the side armor on the IS class tanks is legendary, and for good reason, and the IS-3 shares that legendary side armor. Rear armor, 60 millimeters, it's basically, made to be penetrated, but it's the butt of the tank. If there's anything alive behind you, you're not doing it right. That's not how you IS-3. So, this is my IS-3, and I haven't played it that much since I rebought it, and my original IS-3 crew is now my IS-7 crew, I think. So, maybe it's my IS-4 crew, I don't even remember. But anyway, this is my new crew. I bought them at 100% when crews were on sale, and they only have 50% repair. No 6 cents, no 3 skilled crew, none of that crap. I'm rocking 50% repair. I've got a gun rammer, vertical stabilizer, and improved ventilation on this tank because even though I just said that the IS-3 is a perfect balance of speed, maneuverability, armor, and gun, it's really all about the gun with this thing. This tank is very much a gun tank. It lives and dies by being able to kill things. because the tank is so well rounded, it also lives and dies by being able to survive more damage and being able to outmaneuver. But the primary means of the IS-3 survival on the battlefield is the weapon. The weapon of the IS-3 is formidable. It's the gun 122mm BL9. 4.5 round per minute rate of fire, 225 penetration, 390 damage, 0.4 accuracy, 3.4 second aiming time. Very, very typical Russian gun. Brutal, in your face, drive me closer, I want to hit them with my sword. That's how you play this tank. 0.4 accuracy, you don't want to be doing a lot of long range shooting with this, but at least it's not an IS, an IS-2, or a KV-1S. So if you have to be shooting at 300 meters, you can do it with reasonable accuracy. But you're not a Tiger II, you're not an E50, you're not a Jag Tiger, you're not a Tiger, you're not anything German, you're not even anything American. You want to be pretty daggone close. And with a 3.4 second aiming time, you want to be close enough that you don't have to go through the whole aiming time. You just want to put the reticle onto a part of the enemy armor that you can just beat with penetration. Wait for it to aim just enough that you're only going to hit that part and then fire. So if you're shooting at another IS-3, just as an example, and your aiming circle starts off this big, you only let the circle shrink until it's this big, not until it's this big, because that'll take twice as long. You just want to make sure you're hitting this plate, so you wait half the total aiming time and fire, and that gives you effectively only about a 2-second aiming time. Say 1.9 seconds, 1.8 seconds, which is actually pretty good. So it really can help. Knowing what you're doing with this gun can really make it a lot more effective. The other thing is knowing what you're doing with the armor. With the pike nose, you do not angle. You point yourself straight at the enemy. And in this video that we're about to look at, we will see the difference between an IS-3 driven by me, who knows how to use pike nose armor, versus an IS-3 driven by a guy that I'm about to brutally kill, who does not know how to use pike nose armor. And the difference is going to be very, very obvious. Spoiler alert, he ends up dead. I do not. So, without further ado, let us get the glorious, I'll say it, glorious Soviet IS-3 into battle. Alright guys, we are loading into battle in the IS-3, and you can see that we're loading into a Himmelsdorf encounter match. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'm sure I've used that exact line to do this. I love Himmelsdorf Encounter. It is a map where you always get just good fighting. I enjoy it in pretty much every tank. Fast lightly armored tank destroyers, slow heavy tank destroyers, slow heavies, fast mediums, slow mediums, fast heavies. Like French tanks, love it. Himmelsdorf Encounter is just awesome. It's got something for everybody to do, and in this match, my job is to go on top of the hill and kill everyone. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm an IS-3. I'm the top tier, top of the list, tier 8 heavy in a tier 8 match. Not only that, but this is actually a pretty good matchmaker. Only 4 tier 8s on the enemy team. An IS-3, an IS-6, a Lerva, and a Jagdpanther 2. And then a lot of tier 6s. Actually, I didn't even realize just how favorable the matchmaker on this match actually was. Basically, a guy who's played as much in the IS-3 as me and as much in IS class tanks as I have, if I don't come out of this match looking like a hero, then I just sucked balls. Alright, so you can see the enemy is pushing the hill hard, but they are pushing the hill with a horde of tier 6s. And I just ammo racked that Cromwell and did full health to him, which was awesome. So now we're going to try and work the tier 8s while they're spotted. Boom! Just brutalizing right through the front armor on that IS-6. IS-6 has good front armor, but the IS-3 is made to pick on heavily armored targets. So I don't care about his armor. I've got more pen, so I kill him. Now there you go. That IS-3 is coming around the corner. He's coming around the corner angled against me. He easily pens, or I easily pen him. And I actually angled against him when I backed up, and he easily penned me. So there you go. That's the pike nose for you. Now there I've just gone and kill stolen that Jagdpanzer 4. And the reason why I did that was simple. We're outnumbered up here. If we can't just eliminate guns from the field, we're gonna get swarmed. So I don't care which guns I'm taking out, I'm gonna take out enemy guns. Like right now, if I can kill that Hellcat, that's actually more valuable than if I can damage the Lerva or the IS-3. So I kill the Hellcat. I'm just trying to eliminate guns that can fire at me. I just had a massive lag spike right there, but we're able to recover from it okay. And again, I'm coming around the corner at the IS-3, angled, but he's not firing at me, which is good. So I put a big hit onto the Lerva right there, 400 damage. I'm using the Black Prince as a meat shield. Trying to get shots at the IS-3. I'm trying to wait for the IS-3 to fire, and then I can either brutalize the Lerva or I can brutalize the IS-3. The Lerva's easier to penetrate, and he's got a dangerous gun as well, so I've been focusing the Lerva quite a lot. Now right here, I moved behind this wreck for a really good reason, and that reason is twofold. First of all, it means I can keep these guys in my line of fire a lot more easily, and secondly, I can give them a better angle on my pike nose. And we're going to pause and observe exactly what I mean by that right as soon as I get a good chance. Okay, right now is actually a pretty good time. So, pause right here. I've just penetrated the enemy IS-3. You can see where I'm shooting him. Boom, 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 right there, 3 times. And he actually just penetrated me as well. And I'm not sure where his shot went into me. It looks like he hit a turret weak spot. This top hatch, you can actually penetrate it. It's very difficult, but it can be done. So the reason why I'm behind this wreck is I can basically side scrape it, and I don't really expose any of myself to this IS-3. And I'm firing it in a line where the angling of his armor is negated and made really, really ineffective. And also, if I reverse and I swivel, right now my tank is facing this way. If I want to make sure I bounce this IS-3 shots, all I have to do is reverse and swivel so that my tank is straight at this guy, and he'll be firing over this wreck at the front of my turret and a teeny little bit of my hull. And if I'm facing straight at him, he's going to have basically, he'll be presented with an auto bounce zone or armor that's too thick to penetrate. So he won't fire at the armor that's too thick to penetrate. He'll go for a lucky roll on the auto bounce. But because it's an auto bounce zone, he will not get a lucky roll. He will get an auto bounce. I'm also driving into this wreck because I'm actually pretty worried about those 2 guys over there. I'm just trying to get myself a little deeper into my own cover. So there you go. Again, 4th shot right through the same part on that IS-3. And now it is time to overwhelm the enemy with a brutal assault. The IS-3 is an assault tank. It was designed and built to assault through the Warsaw Pact. It was designed and built to assault through the NATO powers defending West Germany. Now, we've taken out the enemy in front of us, and they've come around behind us, so we're going to pull them. we're going to take a leaf out of the book of the United States Marine Corps in the Korean War. We're not going to retreat south. We're not going to retreat. We're just going to assault southward. The enemy's behind us? Fine. We're just going to turn around and attack the other direction. So now, that's exactly what I've done. I've turned around, and I'm attacking the other direction. I put a shell through the lower plate on the IS-6, and get ready to deal with the IS. I'm trying to keep my front armor as much towards him as I can, but he can just go too fast. So he actually manages to put a really big hit onto me, and the Jagdpanther 2 ends up killing me. But before he did, I inflicted 8 kills. Again, some of those kills were kind of kill stealing, but the fact of the matter is, my job in this match was to drive to the top of the hill and kill everything. And let's just take a quick look. Killed him, 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 killed him. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I think there might be one other wreck up here. That medium over there, that might be on the hill. I honestly don't know. But at any rate, I can tell you that there were at least, I can confirm that 9 enemy tanks came up the hill, and 8 of them fell to my IS-3. So that was my duty, and I've done it well. Yeah, so we, at this point, we cap out the base. The Jagd Panther 2 can't do anything about it, and good game to us. Victory is ours. So, let's take a look at post-battle results. So, there you go. Victory. Ha 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 ha. Enemy base captured. So, when I played this match, there was ×3 for the first victory of the day. Ugh. Excuse me. There was a ×3 for the first win of the day. So that was a 6,828 experience for my triple with a premium account, and 75,111 credits. We pulled in Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, Radley Walters Medal for a minimum of 8 kills above Tier 5, and Top Gun. Litany of Destruction here. I actually detected almost all of these people, which is kind of funny, but, one shot into the Cromwell, killed him. The IS was on low health, but one shot into him, killed him. So that was sort of a kill steal, but at that point there was nobody left up there to steal the kill from. This was a blatant kill steal, but I was just trying to thin the field of guns, because I was fairly certain that before too long there were going to be guns shooting at me from the front and guns shooting at me from behind. And I just wanted the smallest number of guns in the equation. So I saw an opportunity to knock out an easy victim, and I took it. Same thing with this Hellcat. This is the Hellcat that I got at the end of the match. Shot him over the back of my tank. Took down that IS-6, did a lot of damage to him. Worked over that Lerva pretty hard, did 1,500 damage to him. And worked over that enemy IS-3, did all of his HP to him. So there you go. Damage done. Look at that, 5,164. Next highest guy in the match was the enemy Jagd Panther 2 with 2,659. He played a really good game. It's unfortunate for him that he lost. He actually did something really smart. He saw that the town, there was a weakness in the town, and he actually took the town and then attacked back up the hill from behind. That's actually a really good ploy for a tank like a Jagd Panther 2. Really fast, really powerful gun. He almost played it like a medium, and it worked really well for him. It's just unfortunate that the rest of his team kind of let him down a little bit. The IS on the enemy team actually played really well too, doing a 2,000 damage, 2,300 damage in an IS against mostly, even or higher tier enemies is a pretty good show. Our IS-6 did decent damage for a tier 6. Our KV-2 put out pretty good damage. But if you ask me, the other MVP of the match, and I don't even know who it was one of these 2 Black Princes. Okay, it was obviously this one. When I was fighting on top of the hill against the Lerva and the IS-3, I wasn't fighting alone. This guy was there, side-scraping them, and you can see he wasn't putting out a lot of damage. He only did 416 damage. He fired 19 shots and hit with 18 of them, but only 5 went in. His contribution to that battle was he absorbed 3,670 damage by side-scraping. If that Black Prince hadn't been there, we would have lost that battle. Because that Black Prince took the heat off of me long enough for me to kill everything on top of the hill. He died like 30 seconds before I did, killed by the Jagd Panther 2. So, really, really well played to him. Yeah, the Jagd Panther 2 got him. Really well played to this Black Prince. Me and this guy won the hill, and these dudes that were still alive won the town, capped the enemy base for us. So, really good show for those guys. Now, here's kind of an example of the... You're not going to get a good idea of the mobility of the IS-3, because I basically drove to the top of a hill and I fought until I died. But firepower, 18 shots fired, 17 hits, 15 penetrations. This is not a gun for long-range work. Those guys were in spitting distance. They were, throwing punches at each other. That's what the IS-3 does. You punch people. So, yeah, I punched them 18 times, and 15 of those punches landed for damage. We managed to do 5,164, which is really good for a tier 8. 15 hits received. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It took 15 hits to kill me. I mean, I'm a tier 8 with 1,500 health. So, yeah. If that had been a Sherman shooting at me 15 times, it should have killed me. Assuming they penetrated. But, they managed 8 penetrations, 7 non-penning hits, 4,925 damage sustained. Now, I know that's not the end-all, be-all of damage taken. I've taken almost 10k in my, E100. I've taken almost 10k in my T110 E3, and I've only played that like 9 times. I think I've taken as much damage as this in my Object 704, actually, and it's pretty lightly armored. But still, a tier 8 with 1,500 health, that survives 5,000 damage from guys with more than enough pen to just punch through if they knew what they were doing. That either means really, really bad opponents or good use of the tank's strong armor. And I'm going to put this down at 50% inept opponent and 50% good use of the tank's armor, because I did spend quite a bit of time poorly angling my pike nose at the enemy, but they spent a lot of time shooting at me like retards. So, kind of a 50-50 on my part for not really... I didn't angle quite as well as I should have. I actually thought I did a lot better of it. That's why I talked so big about it in the garage. But, turns out, my recollection was off. I actually angled fairly poorly in that match, really. I was lucky that those guys were as bad as they were. So, chalk one up to a little bit of dumb luck. But again, I've said this before, and I will say it again. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And it never hurt to be both. So, there you go. Just the IS-3. It's just a monstrous, monstrous tank. Anything we were pumping out, 15 or 5,000 damage done and 5,000 damage received, like, hell yeah, dude. There you can see unmodified experience. Where is it? 1469. That's pretty good. More than double everyone on our team except a KV2, and he was only... If he'd gotten like 12 less on modified experience, it would be more than double him too. So, I mean, the IS-3 is just... It's a perfect package. I think it's hands down the best tier 8 heavy in the game. It's got speed, it's got agility, it's got firepower, it's got armor. It can't do everything. It's not a good sniper, but like, its strengths are so strong that if you can't find a strength to offset whatever weakness you have to deal with an IS-3, like, you're not doing it right. If you're outnumbered, you've got alpha damage. If you're out-tiered, you've got pretty good penetration. If you need to get the hell out of there, you're fast. And you can take hits. If you just need to kill a bunch of little tanks really fast, you've got high pen, high damage. Like, you can definitely do it. This tank is just so good. I love the IS-3 so much. I might actually put the IS-3 down as, in my opinion, the best tank in the game, even ahead of things like the E-75, which is phenomenal, or the T-54, which is amazing. Just the IS-3, it's just got so much potential. It is so good. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, feel free to comment, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe. I'm sure there are people out there who prefer other tier 8 heavies more than the IS-3. That is definitely fine. And, go ahead and let me know. Like, I don't care. I don't mind. Tell me why you think tell me why you think the IS-3 is not the best. Like, if you like the T-32, like, let me know why. Because, we all got opinions, and in a case like World of Tanks, a lot of times all of those opinions can actually be right. So yeah, just feel free to like and subscribe and comment, whatever. And guys, until next time, this is Captain Dorja, and just remember, you can never have enough big guns.